Hey guys, how you going? I hope you're all doing well and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through kind of what I ate in a day to lose weight. So as most of you will know, several years ago I lost a significant amount of weight, and in terms of nutrition I didn't really know what I was doing. So what I focused on was reducing portion sizes, not actually changing what I was eating but just eating less of it. And then I reduced some of the snacks that I was eating and also switched out a few things for healthier alternatives or slightly lower calorie alternatives. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a typical breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then my snacks as well, show you some of my favorite meals and also discuss some of the changes that I made. And the first one is coffee. So when I would wake up in the morning and go to work, usually I would go out and buy myself a takeaway coffee, and that would be a large full fat milk latte with 3 sugars, believe it or not. And so I completely cut that out. I started having coffee at home, and I'd either have an instant coffee or one from the machine, but it would usually be an Americano or a black coffee of some sort. Sometimes I would add milk, and I started to reduce the sugar. So I didn't go from 3 to 0 straight away, but I went from 3 to 2 and then 2 to 1. And now I don't have any sugar in my coffee because I find it actually too sweet. So that was the first change that I made. If I did go and buy a takeaway coffee, I just again opted for a black coffee or maybe just a white Americano. So it was mostly just water, not milk. And I did allow myself every now and again to have a milky coffee as a snack or a bit of a treat, something that I looked forward to rather than something that I did as a regular habit, and also saved me a lot of money as well, which was really, really handy. So before we get into the meals, I just wanted to quickly chat about fat loss and also about nutrition and all of that sort of stuff. I have made several videos on this as well, which I will try and link somewhere around here or at least down in the description box. But in terms of fat loss, it's really important to be in a calorie deficit. Now, like I said, at the time when I was losing weight, I didn't really know what I was doing. And so what I ended up doing was just reducing portions, reducing snacks, and therefore reducing calories. Previously, I had been eating very, very large portions, and I was having snacks which I thought were healthy, things like muesli bars or bottles of orange juice. But now, obviously, I know that there's a lot more calories in those things than I realized. So for me, just reducing those things, cutting out some of my snacks and reducing my portions worked perfectly at first. And I'm very much an advocate of doing that now and just making it as easy as possible. You don't have to cut any food groups out. You don't have to cut carbs or chocolate out. It's just about managing how much you're eating. And prior to reducing my portions and all that stuff, I was just eating ridiculous sized portions because that had become normal to me and I didn't even realize I was doing it. So in terms of nutrition, calorie deficits are important, but it doesn't always have to be calorie counting and strict diets and cutting food groups out. There's 1,000,001 ways to create a calorie deficit, and this is just the way that I found worked for me. And so I'm just sharing that with you and some of my favorite recipes. So I hope this video helps in terms of understanding a little bit better about how you can make some easy changes and giving you some ideas for recipes as well. All right, without further ado, let's head into breakfast. Okay, time for my favourite meal of the day, which is breakfast. Now for breakfast, I would usually have some form of oats, and today I'm going to make carrot cake oats. Now I didn't weigh my oats out, so I just take a couple of tablespoons until I feel like I've got enough. I'm adding some grated carrot, and of course, sultanas, my favourite. I'm going to add some ground cinnamon. I pretty much add cinnamon to anything I eat that's sweet because I love it so much. And I'm adding some chia seeds because I usually just had them hanging around in my cupboard and it just thickened up the porridge a little bit. I'm putting mine with water. Sometimes I would use a little bit of almond milk or some coconut milk, and maybe sometimes I'd add some protein powder really for flavour. But today I'm just sticking with plain old water. Give it a good stir around and into the microwave it goes. Et voila, we have some breakfast oats. In this case, I'm going to add some toppings. I'm going to add some coconut yogurt, a little bit more cinnamon, of course, and some extra chia seeds. But really, I would just end up throwing whatever I had in the cupboard. So that might be some fruit, some extra banana, or some peanut butter, whatever really is lying around. And that's what I love about oats so much. So some of my other favorite flavors are stewed apple and cinnamon, or like I said, banana with peanut butter. Really anything goes. So it's pretty versatile, and it's also a super cheap meal and quick. All right, let's move on to my second favorite meal of the day, which is lunch. And we are going to have a classic Lucy meal, which is avocado and sometimes eggs on toast. Now, I am a huge fan of sourdough and I'm also a huge fan of bagels, but today we're having rye bread because it's what I had in my cupboard. So just 2 slices of rye bread, I've toasted them. I've also cut up half an avocado and now I'm cutting up some cherry tomatoes and some red onion as well. So usually I'd add some kind of plant butter or just butter if I had it in the fridge, but I actually ran out today, so I'm just going straight on with the avocado and I'm gonna mash that up with a fork straight onto the bread, nice and easy. So before, my typical lunch would probably have looked like a half-foot-long baguette full of chicken and mayonnaise with crisps and with a fizzy drink or something like that, or maybe with an orange juice, but definitely a lot more volume than what I'm eating here. Although I found that once I started eating this was quite filling and I really loved it. And if I was looking for something to fill me up a little bit more, I would just add some more veggies, some rockets, some spinach, and definitely some eggs, which I would have most days as well. Something that I really got in the habit of doing is seasoning everything with pretty much salt, pepper, and chili flakes as an absolute minimum. I am pretty much obsessed with doing this still. So loads of chili flakes go on, garlic salt, some pepper, and now I'm just adding whatever veggies I had. So in this case, it was the red onion and the tomatoes. Again, I'm not really measuring anything out or counting calories or anything like that. I'm just adding what I want, but this is a heck of a lot smaller meal than the lunch that I'd previously described. So I knew that I was eating less. Plus there was no sides like crisps or anything like that. So definitely less calories than I was eating before and delicious as well. Oh, and I'm just adding some sesame seeds as well because again, I just had them lying in my cupboard and I thought, might as well use them. Yes, moving on to snack time now. This is one of my favorites. Still is. I still have this sometimes after dinner when I'm about to go to bed, but this is going to be banana with peanut butter. So really quick and easy. I'm grabbing a banana, I'm chopping it into quarters, and I'm just going to grab some crunchy peanut butter because crunchy is the way to go. I'm going to slather that on. Again, I don't measure, I don't take too much, but I take a reasonable amount. I always season my banana with a tiny bit of salt and of course, you guessed it, cinnamon. I'm having this with a black coffee and we are good to go. A super quick and tasty snack. All right, for all you dinner lovers out there, this is one of my favorite recipes and it reminded me just how tasty it was when I remade it for this video. So we're making Penang chicken. For this one, you're gonna need 800 grams of chicken. You're gonna need a tablespoon of red Thai curry paste, tablespoon of peanut butter again, a tablespoon of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, and a 400 milliliter tin of light coconut cream. Once you've fried that off a little bit, it doesn't have to be cooked fully through. You're going to add the coconut cream and just mix it through and just let it simmer for a couple of minutes. Okay, so while that's simmering away, we're going to start preparing the stuff we're going to have with our Penang chicken. Now, I'm going to choose to have some steamed greens and some rice with mine, so I'm going to go half-half. So this is my makeshift steamer. It's just a pan of boiling water and a colander with a lid on top. I'm adding some chopped broccoli and some mange tout, and I'm going to leave that in there to steam for a little while. Back to our chicken, we're going to add the brown sugar, we're going to add the fish sauce and also the peanut butter, and we're going to stir it all in and continue to let that simmer away. Okay, so the steamed greens are looking good, and I've popped in a packet of microwavable rice into the microwave, and that is nearly done, so we are good to plate up. So I'm going to grab myself a plate, and I'm going to serve up some veggies and a couple of tablespoons of the rice. This was something that I did quite often when I was cooking, so whether it was spaghetti bolognese or meatballs or whatever it was that I would have, if I'm cooking for my boyfriend and for me, I would then give him more rice or more carbohydrates, and I would just sub out some of that for some vegetables for myself. Not only did it actually taste better, but I just found obviously it reduced the calories a little bit and I could still have just as much volume, so nice little tip there for you. So rice going onto the plate, and I'm just going to serve up some of the Penang chicken. Oh my gosh, it's so good, guys. It tastes amazing. Making sure I get plenty of sauce because, let's face it, that's the best bit. Did you know it was coming? I'm seasoning it with chili, a bit of pepper. It doesn't really need any salt, but if you wanted to add salt, you can. And dinner is served. Perfect for a winter's night. It's so warming, and anything that's left over you can refrigerate, and it refrigerates really well. Okay, we all need an after dinner snack or something before bed, and I used to go to town. Like, I'd have a family sized bar of chocolate and some fizzy drink or something like that. So this was a big habit change for me. I got into the habit of always having a herbal tea after my dinner. So I'd have a peppermint tea or a chamomile tea, and if I felt like I needed a sweet treat, I would have either something like this, a chocolate pot, which was plant-based, or I would have 2 blocks of dark chocolate, and I found that that really filled me up, but it also satisfied that craving that I had. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see a second video which is similar with some extra recipes, let me know and I would be more than happy to make it. Otherwise, I hope this has helped, and have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video.